Hello and welcome to Insight. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Duty calls for my co-presenter Namdi Ojikbo. Today we will be exploring two germane issues. The first is gender justice, with focus on women. Legal practitioners emphasize that prioritizing justice for women is crucial to building a more equitable, just and peaceful society. We will examine how promoting initiatives to help women whose rights are infringed upon or unjustly stripped can get justice, and building trust in the justice system. Educating society about women's rights, challenging patriarchal norms, promoting a culture of respect, and implementing laws and policies that protect women from violence, key to promoting justice. And a legal practitioner will join us to shed light on this issue. Our second topic is wet season farming in Nigeria. As we approach the 2025 season, farmers are preparing for planting and utilizing available rainfall for crop growth. We will delve into key aspects of the season to drive food sufficiency. So, once again, welcome to Insights.
Whatever the issues are,
the National Assembly is constitutionally empowered to scrutinize,
however complex or intricate.
We have involved all the academia, the members of the academia. We have involved the academies.
Be it government's policies or in fact any issue of public concern.
Our job is to help you gain clarity and make sense of it all.
This is not really healthy for our democracy.
There's a lot of agreements in terms of who has been in power longest and who becomes the governor of the state.
It's also in the quality of food being consumed.
After all, perception is insight.
And gaining understanding is also getting insight.
To effectively help women achieve justice, several approaches are adopted, like provision of legal aid and support services, advocating gender equality in laws and policies, promoting economic empowerment, and raising public awareness about gender-based violence. Additionally, supporting survivors of gender-based violence, ensuring women's representation in justice systems, and dismantling discriminatory practices are vital steps. On the segment, we will look at women getting justice when their rights are violated. And my guest, Barrister Dise Godi-Hari, a former feeder Bayelsa chairperson and former chairman of NBA Sagbama in Bayelsa State. She will be speaking to us. Barrister Dise, thank you so much for joining us on Insights.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. Now, for over 25 years, you have been championing the cause of women with this in mind. Do women truly get justice when abused or when their rights are snatched from them?
Well, I will respond in two ways. It's a yes and a no.
Okay.
In some cases, women have gotten justice, but in so many other cases, they've not gotten justice as it is supposed to be. I know that so many women in our local communities, they don't even understand what justice means.
Okay.
They don't even understand what it is to invoke their legal rights and all of that. From the kind of work I do, community to community sensitization, school to school sensitization, church to church, mosque to mosque sensitization, and all of that, we have come to discover that a lot of women do not even have the voice to get the kind of justice that they ought to get. So in response to your question, a lot of women have not gotten justice, and most times when their rights are being infringed upon or they are even being harassed sexually or abused.
Okay. Now, what could be responsible for this?
A lot of things I would say are responsible for this, are responsible. First and foremost, lack of awareness. Women are not aware of the fact that there are organizations, there are institutions, government institutions that have even been put in place to deal with such issues. That's one of them. The other one is the fact that the love to save my home, let me put it that way, is also a reason why women have not gotten justice. You see a woman that is abused, you see a woman that you're glaringly saying it, that her rights are being infringed upon, but that woman is not ready to report her husband to the police. She's not ready for any form of prosecution. That is that's one of the reasons why women don't get justice. Then the issue of finance. There's this perception in the minds of women that for me to get justice, I must have money to go to court, I must pay the lawyer, I must settle the police, I must do this and that. It has also made women not to get justice. The issue of lack of education is another one. Most of the women in our local communities are not enlightened. You see them, they don't even know they have the right to decide the number of children they can give birth to. They don't know all of that. You see women that desire to even go to school. They are not even allowed to go to school. They would rather, when I mean they, I'm talking about the community, the traditional institution, and even the men themselves, they would rather that the women go to the farm. So these are some of the reasons why women have not gotten justice. And then the issue of women not supporting themselves too is another one. I know somebody will say it's not the case, but it's still existing, it's still happening. You see a woman that is downtrodden, you see a woman that has been abused, you see the woman that has been denied of her rights in her home. You see another woman calling her names. It's also a big challenge. Women are supposed to support themselves, especially those women that are financially empowered. Let's form groups. Let's form community of women that can support other women to get justice. All those things are not just there. And so you see that women cannot get justice. I could go on and on. The issue of implementation of the laws that we have. It is so clear that there are some laws that we need to look at to implement.
Okay, let me come in there. We'll talk about implementation of some of these laws in the course of our discussion. But let me ask you, you are a woman, and you advocate for women. Really, how does the court handle women affairs in terms of delivering justice?
Well, looking at...
Would you be sincere enough to tell us?
Of course, of course. Okay. Looking at where I'm coming from, if you want to know where I'm coming from, you've talked about me as a former FIDA chair, a former MBA chairman, and a former chairman of Gender Response Initiative team, which is Bayelsa State. I would say that I've not seen any form of bias so far. Okay. Of course, we have a female judge. If you talk about the fact that women will go to court and will not get justice, of course not. She's not biased in any way, but be that as it may, I would say categorically that the court is unbiased. If a woman has done wrong, she gets it straight on. And if her rights are being infringed upon, she also gets justice. The challenge, like I've always said, is the fact that women are not forthcoming. Most times they are also not forthcoming. Even though we have issue of funding, they feel that nobody can help them and all of that. Even though we are even telling them we could render these services pro bono. The problem is women sometimes don't even want to pursue their matter to a logical conclusion. Fine, most of them sometimes they are bold enough to report, they are bold enough to complain, but family interference, the husband comes in, relatives come in, and then the issue is you want to send your husband to jail. You want your husband to go to jail.
He's and the then father of your children.
Yeah, he's the father of your children. We had a case in Uyo, and it's an open story. We know, you know the story too. How she was beating the videos, we had everything, and everybody was ready to prosecute that man. At the end of the day, she had to go and swear an affidavit of withdrawal of the case. So it is about women getting committed to the fact that an offense has been committed. I want to pursue it to a logical conclusion, and she pursues it to a logical conclusion. But the courts have not been unfriendly when it comes to women getting justice, because if anybody that goes to court, the court hears those persons and then looks at the case, the evidence, and all of that, and gets and comes to a conclusion at the end of the day. You know, women that are bold enough to say, no, I must prosecute, I must seek justice, they look at them as troublesome women. They look at them as loose women. They tell them that you will never see another husband again. So it's something that has been there from time immemorial. And it is constant conversations like this, constant sensitization that can change the narrative. For most persons, they feel that women are the weaker vessel. And the funny thing is that the persons that are supposed to help these women come out of this abusive relationship to get justice are those same persons that are also convincing the women to stay. Our religious leaders, most of them feel that divorce is a sin. And I stand here, or I sit here, I'm not standing, I sit here to say that getting divorced is not a sin. especially if it will save the woman's life, if it will save the children from emotional abuse and all of that. So it is what has been there, and the persons that women look up to are the persons that will tell them, stay in that home. It takes few parents. It takes very few parents that will say, my daughter, let the world condemn you, come out of this home. Parents are also a problem. You see a girl running up to her mom to say, this, her father, to say, this is what is happening. And the father is telling her, if you know what is good for you, take a U-turn and go back to that home. Go back home. And then she has to go back home. Is it her pastor? Is it her imam? Who will she confide in? Even us, some of us as gender advocates, we are not bold enough to tell these women the truth. We should be able to tell them. For me, I talk to the women and I tell them, don't wait for that roof to fall on you. Walk away, and then we'll support you to get justice.
To get justice. You know, when women's rights slip through the cracks of culture, and then, you know, when we talk about culture, the family is also involved. What should be the role of the courts in addressing harmful norms that work against women? Because many have died in their marriages, many have died in the hands of their partners, and like you just explained, parents keep sending these women back to their predators. What should be the role of the court and the states in addressing these issues? Can the state or the court have a firm say to say that no, there has to be justice? This woman cannot continue like this, even if she had gone to the court to withdraw the case.
Now let me say it and say it clearly. Our laws or our traditions are not above our laws. Our customs and traditions are not above our laws. Our laws supersede our customs and tradition. So it's time for us to have a reappraisal of the conversations we want to have with traditional rulers. I'm sure they are not even aware. This is our custom. As the woman's husband is dead, give her what, bathe the man, give her the water to drink, make her to dance around the community if she's not the one that killed the man, make her to eat or make her not to eat, shave her hair, do this, do that. It is time for us to have constant conversations with our community leaders. They should know that the customs do not supersede our laws. Our constitution is the grand drum. It talks about fundamental human rights of both the man, the woman, and even children. Right to dignity, you know, and all of that. Women are shut out, right to fair hearing. Women have been accused of different names and they are just condemned, they are flogged, they are stigmatized and all of that. So it is about sensitization. It is about education. We need to go back to our communities and talk to our traditional rulers, talk to our CDC, community development chairmen, and tell them that no, you know you have laws, but these laws should not be laws that are dehumanizing. They should not be laws that are harmful to the well-being of women and girls and all of that. That's all that can be done. And we talked about what the court should do. Once a widow is abused, once a widow is being treated inhumanely, the court should not waste time to convict such perpetrators. We have the Widow and Widows Protection Law. We have it in Bayelsa State, we have it in Nigeria. Those laws are in existence. It talks about what should not be done to a widow. I've had cases where women are asked to sit on the floor. And they sit on the floor and they are crying. If you don't cry, then you have killed your husband. I've had cases where women are asked to cry very well, sit on the floor, wear black clothes. No, those are offenses that the court should interpret looking at the laws that we have. If those things are done, then perpetrators will stop being wicked to women, being abusive to women. What about the female genital mutilation law? Nobody should have touched that part of the woman's body. But it's still in existence in Nigeria, where women must go through the, what do they call it? They want to, yes, they want to do that. It is wrong. The female genital mutilation law is against that. So if we begin to have constant conversations and then we implement the existing laws, it will reduce the various forms of abuses that women go through on a daily basis.
Interesting. All right, you know, some women are imprisoned for petty, non-violent offenses as a result of direct or indirect discrimination or deprivation. Now, either by their partner, family members, or society. How has FIDA been able to ensure that some of these women in this line get justice?
While I was FIDA chair, we were prosecuting. We render pro bono services to these women. And that's what we're still doing in our organization right now. We render free legal services. We enlighten the women and tell them that though you've been arrested, it is not the end of the road. We can help you get justice. And we stand for these women. We go to court, we appear for them in court and get justice for such women. I had a case, let me share this story with you, of a woman whose husband told her. That's what he has always been doing. And when I heard it, I started crying. But I told her that you will get justice on this case. This man will tell the woman to kneel down and raise up her hands.
Oh, God.
Listen, I'm telling you, this incident I'm narrating to you is not fake. The woman is still in Bielsa State, you know. She will kneel down and raise up her hand, and then he will flog her, and then he will keep maltreating her. And then at the end of the day, he filed for divorce. We fought in courts, and she got her children, and she got justice at the end of the day. But the funny thing is that all those flogging and all those things, she felt it was normal. She didn't report all those incidents to us. If not, we would have arrested him for assault and all of that. She didn't report until when he filed for divorce. She now started narrating all these incidents to us. These cases do exist, but we have always helped them to intervene. But it is to the extent that we get reports from these women that we can also intervene.
Now let's talk about gender laws. You mentioned some. When you meet survivors, because I have met survivors of gender-based violence, and they always ask, what about our laws? Are our laws not protecting us? Now, are these laws fully implemented? Because they ask all the time.
We have so many existing laws, like Widow and Widowers Protection Law, the Child Rights Act, the Child Rights Law. We have the Criminal Code laws. We have the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Bielsa State, is the act at the federal level. We have all those laws. Fine. It's about implementation. It's about the willing woman that will allow us implement it to the end. We've had cases where we want to invoke the laws, these laws, and the woman does not come to testify. How do we implement the law? Because she has been given some money, or she has been told to let go of the matter and all of that.
Or threatened. But
the laws are there. There's a plethora of laws that are existing already. But implementation can only be done when we have willing complainants and on all of that. But in so many cases, we have also invoked the law, like the Child Rights Law, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law that protects women too. We have been implementing it in Bielsa State. And I know that at the federal level is being used to prosecute perpetrators of violence against women. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, or Act, for me, I'm talking about the law because I'm from Bielsa State now.
Okay.
It talks about, it's not just the punishment, which is life imprisonment. It talks about compensation for victims. So the VAP law has come to improve on the existing law, which is the Criminal Code law, that talks about just life imprisonment once the person is found guilty and all of that. So the VAP law has come to help women. It's not just about you spending so much money if you have the money to prosecute a perpetrator. It talks about compensation, though the compensation is at the discretion of the judge. But at least that's an improvement on our law. So now there are some certain things that should be in the VAP law that is not there, that we expect implementation. It talks about a safe space for women that are abused and all of that. I don't know, most of the states in Nigeria, I don't think they have such safe space. We call it a sexual assault referral center and all of that. I don't think those safe spaces are being built by most states and all of that. So it is about partial implementation, if I would say. When it talks about the contents of the law, it is clear and clear. It talks about other requirements.
For the NTA, we raise advocacy always on issues affecting everybody. Now we are doing it to create a safer space, like you said. But for any woman out there doubting the justice system, as a legal practitioner, how would you give hope to such a woman?
If she's listening to me right now, I want to tell her that she shouldn't lose hope. There is hope for you. There's justice for you. But all you will need to do is step forward and make your complaint to FIDA. FIDA is here in Abuja. FIDA is in all the states in Nigeria. We are there to help you out. But I just want them to know that there is hope for women that have lost hope that they would never get justice. It's about you speaking out. There are some persons that will complain and they will disappear. And I'll tell them we are not magicians. We don't fly at night. So we won't know where you stay. It is until you come out to speak to us, tell us the person that would have abused you, give us details. That's when we can help out. Now, I want to make it very clear. It is free. Justice can be gotten free if you meet the right set of lawyers. If you made the wrong, I'm not saying lawyers, we have wrong sets of lawyers, but their lawyers are in private practice. Of course, you have to pay them. But for us that are into the gender space, we are ready to prosecute and help you get justice free of charge. It's called pro bono in the legal term. We are ready and available to help out. This is because we are a set of women lawyers. We are a set of professionals that have come together to say, this is how I want to give back to society. If you want psychosocial support, having been abused, we are there to help you. If you need security support, we have security personnel that are in the team of Do Foundation and Association of Women Against Jail. We can do all of that. So that woman out there watching us right now, we can help you get justice pro bono.
Pro bono. Yes. Okay, I have two more questions for you before I let you go. The issue of shaming the victim and shielding the perpetrator, how do we change this narrative? It's
actually a wrong one. I always do, like when I was FIDA chair, I had this program that I carried out. I said, name and shame. Name and shame. Even at the federal level now, once a perpetrator is convicted, his name is on the register of, I think, register of, I can't get that word right now, but it is totally wrong to shame the victim. It is totally wrong to abuse the victim. Right from when the victim or the survivor goes to the police station, the police officer should be very, very friendly. There are cases where questions have been asked, why did you dress like this? It is because you exposed your body. That is why you were abused. Those scenarios should stop and stop and stop. If a victim runs up, is bold enough to report, from the police station to the hospital, to the gender advocate that is giving that support, let's show that survivor love and support until the survivor gets justice. And then for the perpetrator, we should ensure that there are issues of, in fact, we should get to the extent where we should even arrest whoever comes to talk about settlement. I had a case once. Some kings came. They came to beg. I said, you're coming to my office? Okay, come, just come. They got to my office and I called the commissioner of police. I said, Commissioner, they are here. You need to see. It was a funny situation, but it was one that sent serious signals to all the tradition. You need to see them with their cap, with their stick. They ran out of my office because I was ready to arrest all of them and prosecute them for frustrating police investigation and trying to obstruct justice. If everybody can stand up to that and say, no, even if this person is my son, even if this person is from my community, even if this person is a commissioner's daughter or son, and you committed such act, please let us expose them and shame them. It will help to reduce cases of sexual and gender-based violence against women in our climate. It is wrong. It is not a family affair. An offense committed, especially criminal offense, is an offense against the state. So that's why you see the Ministry of Justice is there to take up the matter. And then you have police prosecutors that prosecute such matters with lawyers. Like in Bayelsa State, we have lawyers now that prosecute in the magistrates' courts. That's how I started my practice. By the grace of God, I'm a deputy director now. Now, what am I trying to say? Truth be told, the police, as they are supposed to be working with gender advocates, they're supposed to be working with the survivor to ensure that the perpetrator is prosecuted. So even if you say, like for the survivors, I would say the police said we should settle. I would say that parents or relatives should not accept such proposal or condition. They should say, no, I want to prosecute the perpetrator. I want this matter to get to the end. And then, of course, no judge will see a child that was a 2-month-old child that was a neighbor, and the judge will give judgment in favor of such perpetrator. So let's just continue to shun out of court settlement and let's go to pursue our matters to a logical conclusion.
Barrister D.C. Gordy Harry, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Insight. Thank you for enlightening us, and I do not shield the perpetrator. Do save a life. Thank you so much, Barrister. We do appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Whatever the issues are,
The National Assembly is constitutionally empowered to scrutinize.
However complex or intricate,
We have involved all the academia, the members of the academia. We have involved the academies.
be it government policies or in fact any issue of public concern,
our job is to help you gain clarity and make sense of it all.
This is not really healthy for our democracy.
There's a lot of aggrievance in terms of who has been in power longest and who becomes the governor of the state.
It's also in the quality of food being consumed.
After all, perception is insight.
and gaining understanding is also getting insight.
Wet season farming in Nigeria, which typically lasts from April to October, is a crucial period for crop production as it relies on rainfall. Farmers utilize this time to cultivate various crops like maize, rice, cassava, yam, and vegetables. The rainy season alleviates the need for manual irrigation, making it a more cost-effective and accessible farming period. Today, we will be looking at key aspects of this season and how farming would be in Nigeria, and we'll be taking cues from Kebbi State. And Shehu Muhazo, Commissioner of Agriculture, Kebbi State, will be speaking to us. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on Insights.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Now let's begin. How prepared are we for this season in your state, Kebbi? How prepared are you?
Madam, we are very well prepared because as soon as His Excellency Comrade National Idris Kaurangwandu took over becoming as the governor, he launched a robust agenda, that's the Kaura Agriculture Development Agenda. The essence of that agenda is to ensure food security. So we are always ready when it is rainy season or it is dry season. Based on the 8 points agenda we had, we are very much ready, and our farmers are ready, and they are already on the field.
Okay. So how is the state government supporting farmers this rainy season? We have seen some commitments from the dry season farmers last year. So what is the level of preparedness and commitment like for your state?
We did a climate-smart agriculture profile of the state. This is aimed at educating our farmers and equipping them with the know-how and knowledge on how to tackle climate change or to mitigate the climate change effect. We have equally launched a climate-smart adaptation seed program, which is targeting at revolutionizing the use of seed in our communities. We have equally procured and we are ready to distribute about 200 trucks of fertilizer to our farmers. All this is aimed at making sure that the wet season comes and the government has done what the government is supposed to do as far as giving support to the farmers. We have equally distributed 3,000 power tillers. This is aimed at reducing drudgery, that is to reducing the labor or the workload of the farmers. By bringing in machineries, we aim to attract young farmers and reduce drudgery in the fields.
Okay. You know, this season comes with a lot of challenges. What challenges do you foresee and what steps are in place to ensure that farmers don't lose so much this season and then during harvest time?
Based on the seasonal rainfall prediction by the NIMET, the first thing we did here in Kebbi State is to domesticate the prediction. We translate it into Hausa and we made sure we distributed it along all the agricultural communities. We equally have set our extension service providers, that's the extension officers, we have set them onto the fields. All the areas that NIMET has predicted that is going to be flood, we have alerted them. We have equally procured seeds that will adapt to the impending loom that as predicted. That is, we have procured seeds that are of short duration variety. We equally have procured seeds that are flood tolerant. So all this is to get ready and to reduce the risk associated with the climate change as predicted by NIMET.
You know, our Kebbi State is one of the largest rice producers in the country. But in the last 2 years, the state is not making much impact. What strategy are you adopting this year to ensure that Kebbi remains on that top list?
His Excellency launched the Aura Agricultural Development Agenda. The essence of this is for us to maintain our status or to maintain our position as the leading rice producer in the state. This is in tandem with the Mr. President's renewed hope agenda of ensuring food security in the country. So this we have been doing, and I believe you have been following us. You have been seeing what we have been doing all this while in the last 2 years.
Interesting. Now, the federal government is deploying tractors to support farmers. What plans are you making to ensure that your state benefit fully from this initiative?
Madam, we are in touch with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in relation to the tractors. In fact, all achievement, everything we have achieved so far in the state, we really need to thank His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the support we have been receiving from the federal government, which has greatly helped us to do a lot for our people as far as our agriculture and food security is concerned. So we are queuing into the federal government program. It's a program that we believe will turn around the agricultural ecosystem in Nigeria, more especially as it relates to mechanization, and this will greatly reduce farm drudgery and bring in young men and women into the farming sector.
Okay. Now, Commissioner, I would like you to explain to Nigerians in what ways has your state government been helping smallholder farmers and youths that are interested in farming to ensure that there's food security and food sufficiency is promoted in Nigeria?
I think we are the only state in Nigeria that provide fertilizer free of charge. Okay. We provide this fertilizer free of charge as well as other farm inputs free of charge. We equally provide farm machineries free of charge. All this is to attract young men and women into the agricultural sector, to make it very easy and to make it attractive for them to queue in and join the agricultural ecosystem so that they will have jobs, they will improve their livelihoods, as well as ensure food and nutrition security for the country.
Shehu Muhazu, Commissioner of Agriculture, Kebbi State, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Insight. Thank you for your contributions on this segment. And we'll bring in the National Coordinator, IFAD, Sustainable Program in Kebbi State to shed more light. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Still on the wet farming season, I'm being joined now by Bala Mohammed, bringing Kebbi State Program Coordinator, IFAD Sustainability Program, Kebbi State. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on Insights.
Thank you, madam.
All right, a few seconds ago, I concluded my conversation with the Commissioner of Agriculture in Kebbi State. Let's hear from the perspective of IFAD. How prepared is IFAD for this season when we talk about agriculture?
Well, actually, we are very much prepared. You know, if IFAD program targeted communities in the state, and we are working with 14 local governments out of 21 local governments. The remaining 7 local governments are taken care by the state, and we are adopting the strategy of IFAD to see how we can assist our farmers. The major thing that we do, or we are doing now to prepare our farmers, is educating them on the climate change issues that is coming up. Initially we have educated our farmers on good agronomic practice, all the local governments and in all the communities that are participating in the programs. So our communities now, most of our farmers, I can tell you, they are as good as extension agents that were trained in the classroom because we train them in the field through what we call farmer field school.
Okay, like I asked the commissioner, there are several challenges farmers face at this time, from erosion to waterlogging. Most times the crops are washed away due to water. In what areas would IFAD be providing support to ensure that most of these challenges are surmounted this season?
Well, we have run a program that is climate change, agriculture and business support program. And that intending to address the climate change issues. You can see most of our farmers are losing their farm due to erosion. That is gully erosion that is coming across their farms, lose it. So IFAD has come with a method and strategies that will assist our farmers through biological control, which can be very easy for the farmers, planting different type of grasses that can reduce the effect of this erosion. Besides that, our population is growing and the land is static or is reducing in size. So we also come with a strategy on how we are going to reclaim the degraded land that were not being used in cultivation and put them into cultivation. We have a lot of techniques that we teach our farmers they are doing. We have what we call the half moon, we have the contour moons, we have the planting pits, and what have you. This has seen directly in reclaiming most of the land that are not in cultivation. This is part of the activities that the programs have done to ensure that we have a lot of space where we are going to produce. Besides that, we ensure that farmers produce their own seed. We go and get a seed and a foundation seed that we can try that will be adaptable to our climate and adaptable to our soil, so that our farmers can cultivate it and be selling to their other farmers that are not there. So we train some farmers that are really only on seed production. And this seed cut across rice, groundnut, sorghum, and millet, because these are most of the major crops the effort program is intervening on.
So I would like to ask you, because of the program you have explained, how prepared are farmers this season?
In touch with NAMET, and we educate our farmers that they should go along with the prediction of NAMET, because that is the only thing that can help them. And most of the communities that we are working with now, they are very much aware on onset and offset of the rainy season, which is very important. They are also aware of their good agronomic practices that they can use. They are also aware on how to source their own seed that have shorter duration, drought resistant, seeds that are higher yielding. They also know the sources where they can get it, and they are getting it, and most of the farmers are now with their seed. Some have already gone to the farm, because by the prediction of NAMET in Kebbi, our rainfall differs. Southern and the northern part of Kebbi differs because of our climatic differences. So in the northern part, the rainfall will set in 3rd of July, which has happened. It's happened here in Benin Kebbi and in Varos. And the farmers, that is the time when they go to the farm and start planting, because of the information we have disseminated to them through what we got from NANET. So our farmers are very much, they are becoming the smart agriculturalists now. They use all the technological information that we are getting from the NANET, and we are making sure that they are utilizing those information appropriately.
Okay, I quite agree with your explanation, and I want to believe that the sustainable program by IFAD is really doing so much within your region and outside to ensure food security. But when we talk about Nigeria, where are we in this journey of food security and sufficiency?
We are making sure that everybody, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your religion or whatever, you have to go back to the farm. And people are going back to the farm based on the call by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kebbi State, to give them a motivation. Farmers are being profiled based on the crop they are cultivating, based on the area they come from. That is whether it is Southern Kebbi or Northern Kebbi. We have the profile of those farmers, and we know the kind of crop that they are going to produce. And the state government is making plans to see how they are going to support them. Besides that, the governor has given an assurance that when they produce, if there is surplus, the state government is going to buy those surplus and put in our respective silos for rainy season in case we are not praying anyway. But as you know, Kebbi is leading in rice production. We are also in soya beans. We are also in sesame. A lot of crops that were not cultivated in some of the northern states. Kebbi State will have the advantage of producing them, and we are doing them, and we are providing our farmers.
Insecurity, poverty, hunger within some regions in Africa. What is the continent not doing to make food available?
Well, actually, the things that we are not doing to make food very much available to our table is we are not doing mechanized agriculture.
Okay.
We are doing very little in mechanized agriculture, and you cannot do a large-scale farming. Most of us, including yourself, we didn't take farming to be a business. We take farming to be for a farmer. We take farming to be for the less privileged. But farming is far, far beyond that. Farming is a business. So now that people are seeing that there's no free money that is coming out, everybody is trying to go back to the farm. So the land is becoming more expensive now in my state. So many people that were not there, they are trying to join, they are trying to go back to the farm. And this, I believe, in a short while, things will turn around and will feed Nigeria and Africa. Nowadays, at the coming of this administration of Dr. Nasir Korongwendu, he has approved for the opening of one forest reserve in Ilo local government, and 100,000 of hectares are now demarcated, which are going to be converted for farming activity. Besides that, the state government has a proposal of having a farm estate where at least 5,000 hectares to 10,000 hectares of land will be cleared and be given to farmers and be given to interested farmers to be farming and paying back with their produce. That will make a hope for any crop that is being produced in that area. Okay. And in this arrangement, the state government wants to concentrate on the comparative advantage. That is where each crop is performing very well in that area. That is the crop we are going to concentrate on. So the issue of land, this is where we are. There is no difference between a female farmer and a male farmer as far as issue of flooding is concerned, because that is a natural disaster. It depends on where your farm is situated. If your farm is situated along the floodplain areas, you may likely have the problem. And if you have an open land, you may likely not have a flooding problem. But the opportunity is 50-50 for both male and the female. Whosoever want to go into farming, it is 50-50 for him, depending on his capacity and capability of what he can do. I can tell you, in some places, like Zuru area, if you go, you will find female farmers that are doing more than the men, and they are producing more than the men, and they are cultivating area of land more than the male counterpart. So we have an equal opportunity. The state government is gender sensitive, so it gives equal opportunity to all genders, irrespective of their sex, whether it is male or female.
Moving forward, let's hear from you as an expert in agric. How do we promote or make agriculture the next oil? Because it's an annual fruit.
If you take the statistic of those people who went to Freaking this year, more than 80% of them are farmers. And they got all their money through farming. If you go and see any up tier now is springing up, when you ask that person, you will see that he is a farmer. If you go and see somebody with a very flashy car driving, if you ask him, you find out he is a farmer. So as far as Kebbi State is concerned, agriculture has already overtaken the oil, which already we don't have, so we use the advantage of what we have, and we are moving forward.
Okay. All right. For states that are really not taking agriculture so seriously, what would be your words?
My words for them is, if we are not very much conversant with the agricultural production, they should go out and look for experts that can teach them on how to do it. Because seeing is believing. I can remember during we went to Imo State when Okorocha was a governor. He invited our people to go and teach his people on how to cultivate rice. And we went there and we taught them. And there are so many states, even outside the country, I can tell you, Nigerian Republic, you are here in Kebbi State. They came to learn from us on how we produce rice. So any state that is not in agricultural production now, it depends on where you are. Some places, you know, they doesn't have the advantage of land, and you cannot do farming in the surface. You cannot do it up on the sky, so it has to be on the land. So if you doesn't have the land, that is the disadvantage you have. But the little land you have is not the bigger as the land is, but how well you manage that land. Once you manage it well, you will get a very good output.
Bala Muhammad, bringing Kebbi State Program Coordinator, IFAD Sustainability Program, Kebbi State. One, thank you so much for enlightening us. Thank you so much for your thoughts on the focus before us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Whatever the issues are,
The National Assembly is constitutionally empowered to scrutinize,
however complex or intricate.
We have involved all the academia, the members of the academia. We have involved the academies.
be it government's policies or in fact any issue of public concern,
Our job is to help you gain clarity and make sense of it all.
This is not really healthy for our democracy.
There's a lot of agreements in terms of who has been in power longest and who becomes the governor of the state.
It's also in the quality of food being consumed.
After all, perception is insight.
and gaining understanding is also getting insight.
What are we doing as a nation to first of all settle our teeming populace, especially the youth?
NTA's political package with a third eye on the nation's political scene. I am Fisa Ogunfuyi. Welcome.
You have to be very careful giving space to people who are obviously sponsored to further the agenda of some other groups.
There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions in a closed door sessions. Some of these issues, some of the problems bedeviling of their.
In fact, between June 1st and July 17, 19-point-something billion has left the coffers of the NDDC.
I can say my constituency, they need everything because we don't have anything.
And that's Insight today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Remember, when you see someone being abused or unjustly treated, speak out. You could be saving a life. Do join us next week for more insightful discussion. Stay informed, stay empowered. Bye for now.